to another episode of Desire to Inspire. It's been a while that I've introduced us
I was
because
like, what do you mean it's been a while? We haven't missed a week ever.
bro, I'm not done with the intro.
I know, you always throw me off when you say shit like that. Like, what do you mean it's been a while?
It's your mama's favorite podcast. Don't let Dylan interrupt us when we're saying the most important line because guess what? I get to see my mama today and I'm fucking happy. So,
Didn't
with
you
that,
see her yesterday and the day before?
no, I didn't.
You haven't seen her yet?
No.
Oh, okay. I
She's been
figured you
down
were there.
No, she's been down in Oak Island.
Damn, bro. She goes there, you go home.
I know. Yeah, we were supposed to go, but life's getting busy with work, with just everything overall. So I've been kind of on the go a lot. I was supposed to meet down there with her. Had some customer meetings I had to go to though, so that halted those plans. I came to Ohio, doing a little bit of an extended stay, working remote from here, so that way I can see her the back half of this trip.
Can you hear my guy outside weed whacking?
Faintly.
Okay, it's pretty loud here. That's why I asked. But I feel like it's probably going to cut some of it out. I forgot how much I like the smell of yard work. They started mowing today, and it smells fucking good out there, dude.
Yeah, there ain't nothing better than going on a run and smelling somebody fucking mowing their grass.
Mm-hmm. Well, I went for a walk with the dog this morning because I'm dreading this 12-mile run I have this weekend. Do you have one too?
No, not 12-mile yet because I'm only on like week 6 or something like that.
Well, lucky you.
Matt already said he ain't doing it.
He already did it though, right? Like he did a 12 at one point, or did he just do 10?
He just did 10.
I mean, that's
actually
more
he
than I've
did
done.
10. I'm not going to say just 10. That's a lot.
Yeah. In relation to 12, was it 12 or just 10?
Yeah,
but I haven't done more than 8, so
you might as well just do a 10 this last week. At that point.
I don't remember what I did last week. I think I did 8.
Yeah,
I felt good on 8 though. I felt real good on 8.
Yeah, I gotta kind of ask you because I feel like we haven't touched on it. So this hybrid training, how is that going for you? How's the fucking carnivore diet going for you?
Carnivore diet's done. We're over the month, so this week I started shopping for other things.
All right. So
how did that go? Tacos.
Did you like it? Hate it? Love it?
I don't dislike it, but I couldn't do it forever, basically. And I kind of talked to Matt about it. Carnivore Matt, he hit me up about it, yo, how's it going? And he basically said that even he put stuff back in. Now he's like, I enjoy pizza and ice cream from time to time. It was just I removed things to solve the issue, and now I slowly reintroduce things. He's like, it's just I'm 95% this way, and I would say I'm probably still 85 or 90% there. Okay. I haven't really veered away too much. If I go out, I want to be able to eat what I want pretty much, and then like I said, some tacos. But the only thing that was different about that was a tortilla. So 100 of my calories was fucking not carnivore. Big deal. So I'm kind of switching it up a little bit, but definitely leaned out.
Okay.
A lot. I'm down 20 pounds in the last couple months. Since the bulk, I'm down 20 pounds.
That's what's up.
A majority of it was from this. And I still drink probably once a week on this diet. So it's really not bad.
Yeah.
So now I'm just trying to maintain it so I can keep my protein up pretty much. Because that's really the only thing I'm tracking right now with the hybrid kind of training. But I've probably been hybrid training for at least 3 years now anyways. So that's really not doing anything too crazy to me. It's more so the lack of lifting, I feel which I've kind of supplemented myself. The bulk was where I kind of got away from hybrid training in the first place. That was the first time I really cut out running in years.
Yep.
So I am glad to be back running. I'm going to probably get into a marathon build. I don't know when it's going to be, but after mid-July, after everything happens in there, I'm going to transition into that. But I want to make sure I'm lifting 4 times a week.
Everything happens in there.
That's another episode because I'm going to really get into it. I'm going to kind of get into everything. I mean, we could touch on it now, but I'm going to actually probably in the next couple weeks, dive deep into everything.
Cool. Yeah, no, I was talking to you outside of this, but I think it's important to share our journeys. I mean, we have people looking up to us to have the motivation to keep going, even if they're not directly in our community. They're hearing us on the outside. They're seeing it. So I think it's important to talk about the carnivore diet because somebody might have been like, wow, this might be good for me for whatever reason. So that's why I want to start diving a little bit more deep into our lives because you asked me 2 months ago, 3 months ago, whenever it was, like, do you ever think that you would like share more than you have now to let people know? And I think it starts with these life shifts and changes and different things we're trying.
Oh, I'll tell
Um,
you right now, I got a lot of life shifts going on.
yeah. And so I think it's important to talk about those because, again, we're not just solely focused on fitness. And I know that we've talked and we want to get away from that so people learn about who we are
Yeah.
on the inside and out to then the reasons and backing behind the DTI brand. And so every single day, this thing is fucking growing, bro, whether we know it or not. And that's because of our consistency. That's because we put ourselves out there to try something new. And not only that, but we like talk about it. We truly speak things into existence, and that starts with our diets. That starts with the shift for a Spartan race. I was talking to somebody last night. I was up at my uncle's hunt club, and I was just talking to him about health and fitness. He's 52 years old, and he looks amazing. And he told me, he was like, yeah, he's like, dude, you're in great shape. He's like, I look at you, he's like, I know you're in great shape. He was like, you look good, this and that. He was like, it was recently, my youngest daughter wanted to try rock climbing. He was like, she didn't have anybody in her life that wanted to do it. I never fucking rock climbed. And he was like, so being a dad, strapped up. And I was like, all right, let's go rock climb.
Oh yeah.
And he was like, dude, I was 50 years old, 51 years old. I was achy. Everything hurt. I didn't want to do anything. Walking up steps, my hips, he's a landscaper. And he's like, my hips would hurt, my joints would hurt, my knees would hurt, everything hurt. He was like, and then my daughter got this itch to rock climb. So I started doing that, getting more active. And now I'm doing yoga. Never thought I would be doing yoga. And he's like, I'm doing all these different things. He's like, the pain is nearly gone. He's like, the only thing is, he's like, I'm still landscaping. He owns the company, but he goes out there with the crews when they're busy. Still does it. He's like, I'm still doing it. He's like, and of course I have the minor like aches and pains. He was like, but dude, the pain that I was having walking up steps completely gone, this and that. And so I told him, and I like started to open up. I was like, yeah, I was like, my uncle, I write a program for him, this and that. I was like, when I first started this with my business partner, Dylan, I was like, our mindset was in this place of let's help the youth or let's help people our age or like the younger demographic get healthier, get fitter. And I was like, and the more and more that at least me personally am seeing this, and I think you gravitate towards this as well, is I was like, man, I was like, I'm getting the itch to help the older generation. I was like, all these people think that once they hit 30, they can let go of the gas a little bit on their physical activity. Then they start having kids, 40, 45, and then the kids are growing up. So they get less and less, they get more and more sedentary and they stop working out. And then they complain that they can't sleep, their diet, their metabolism, all this stuff. And I was like, so I'm gaining a passion to target that older demographic so that way I can help them live longer. So that way, when your daughter's older, you're walking her down the aisle, you're seeing your grandkids and all of that stuff. And he was like, no, dude, he's like, keep going. He was like, there is definitely a gap in there. He's like, I can't tell you how many of my friends work out. And then he paused and he was like, none of them do. He's like, I can
That's
tell you
crazy.
exactly how many do. And so it was cool to see and hear that because it's not often that we hear people owning up and like once they realize what that change was or what that shift was to fix it, they don't really talk about it. They don't go to the root cause and be like, yes, it was because of this. It was because I was sitting down. I was eating like shit. I was blah, blah, blah. It's like, I don't want to make myself look bad. So they kind of fluff around and was like, oh yeah, I changed these little things. But no, it was really cool to hear him talk. And it kind of just like was one of those things again that sparked my fucking engine and was like, we're doing something right. We have something
Yeah.
going. And so that's why I think it's important for us to talk about these different challenges or journeys that we're on because somebody's out there listening to them,
The
even
thing
if they're
about
not
those
talking.
root causes too, I believe most of them know what the cause is. They know that it's because they're not moving. They know it's because of the diet. They know it's because of all of these factors. It's just easier to brush them under the rug and not face them head on. I think that that's where the big issue comes into play. Is like nobody wants to take these things and just look themselves in the face and be like, "Yo, like I got myself in this situation. It's fully on myself to get myself out as well." And it really is that easy. You just got to make that small little mindset shift. And that dude that you're talking about, that's like my ultimate goal. Like I genuinely do love like fitness now, but like the ultimate goal is to be able to 20, 30 years down the road, if my kids or grandkids are like, I wanted to go do this, to be able to be like, oh, I'll go do it with you. Like I don't want to
Yep.
be that guy who like can't be active or can't go do things with my kids or grandkids because I've just let life get away from me.
Yep. Our bodies, our brains, our energy is solely based on this fucking saying that everybody rolls their eyes about is you lose. What's that saying? You use it. If you don't
Use it
use
or
it,
you
you
lose
lose
it.
it. Yeah,
I was
use
like,
it or
this
you
dude
lose
brought up
it.
the saying, you don't even know it.
And that's what it is with our fucking bodies, bro. Why do I hurt when I walk up the steps? Why do I hurt when I sit down, stand up? Why do I hurt when I'm doing these things? When I was younger, I didn't feel that. Motherfucker, it's because when you were younger, you were
You're
doing the things
moving.
that you needed to. You were using your muscles. You were sitting up and down. You were squatting. You were lifting. You were working a job that involved manual labor, whatever it was, to keep those muscles in line. Muscle memory is a thing, and the older you get, and the less and less and less time that you use those muscles or don't focus on using them, you're going to lose it. And then you're going to start hurting, and then you're going to start aching, and then your mind's going to shift and be like, oh my God, it's only because I'm old. It's not because you're old.
Mm-hmm.
You think it's that, but you need to get back to the root cause, and you need to start being active. You need to start feeding your body differently than you did. You can't just have snacks late at night every single night. You can't drink every single night. You can't blame X, Y, and Z every single night because it'll never change. And so, again, being that we're testing so many different things or going through different loops, like right now, I'm fucking hating running. I hate the split program. I'm not enjoying it at all. The
Is it
gym,
that you're hating running, or you don't feel like you're lifting enough though? Like you're that, you know what I mean?
it's
Like,
the
is it the
hybrid.
actual running itself, or is it I'm only lifting 3 days a week? Because that's where I was kind of getting to.
Mine is that I'm only lifting 3 days a week.
Yeah.
And so, as you know, as much as anybody that's close to me, I preach it all the time on here. The gym single handedly saved my life 2.5 years ago, got me out of the darkest time of my life 2.5 years ago. I went from working out 5 days a week and doing some sort of activity on the weekend, walking, riding a bike, whatever, to cutting that in half, taking away that one thing that's my therapy that I use as my, okay, I'm going to go in here and fully focus on me. I'm going to let the demons out, as I call it. And you've laughed at me for saying it. But taking that gym and letting the demons out and then going back home and being like, all right, I'm starting my day. Because guess what? On those days that for people that don't know, we're on a hybrid build or hybrid program right now, meaning we're working out 3 days a week and we're running 3 days a week as well.
Yeah, it's like lifting 3 and then running 2 or 3 depending on the week,
Yeah.
but
And
typically
so
3.
I took out a couple days of lifting. And what did I do on those couple days of lifting? I slept in. I didn't wake up at 4:30 like I usually do because I'm like, oh, I don't have to go to the gym. I'll run later in the day. So I slept in. Then I noticed I wasn't showering in the morning like I usually do. I was waiting until the afternoon to go shower because, oh, I didn't sweat. I don't need a shower.
Okay,
So
so
then
speaking of root causes, running's not the root cause here. The
no,
root
it's a
cause is
split.
you're getting out of your routine. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
Because
split. And
let's say like you kept getting up at the same time and you put that productivity somewhere else, you might not feel that way. But the compounding effect of now I slept in, now I feel it, because I'm the same way. If I sleep in too much, I start to like put myself down. Like I'm very like critical of myself when I
that's how
feel
I've been.
myself steering off path. And so like it's really not even, I don't even think it's necessarily the split. I think it's more being out of like routine or out of alignment with like some kind of a purpose. Like if you're lifting 5 days a week, you're up every day at 4:30. Like what if you got up at 4:30 and did content, or you worked on DTI, or even you got ahead like for your 9 to 5? You're still
Hmm.
doing something to be productive. I don't think you'd feel the same way. But I definitely get where you're coming from. Like 3 days of lifting for me is not enough. Like I've been putting
Yeah.
in a fourth, which is kind of what I alluded to in the beginning. So like and I've also like I'm not really doing 2 a days for the most part, because like the way they have it set up, like I'm not trying to go deadlift heavy and run my intervals in the same day. That's just not happening.
Yeah.
So like I've like really broke it down. Kind of, I'm doing the same thing. I'm just breaking it down into different days, like whatever works better for me. Which goes back to what we preach all the time. It's like you have to do what's going to work for you and your schedule.
Yep.
So like tomorrow, I technically don't have anything because I'm doing my long run on Saturday. Just it's the easiest way. Like I have less going on. So tomorrow I'm going to the gym and I'm putting in an extra lift just because I want to do it.
Yep. Yeah. It comes back to something that I was like talking to you about is like, it's it's extremely easy to fall off of the railroad tracks, as I always allude to, if the habits that you have in place aren't fitting with the goals or like the main objective. And so, as we preach all the time, is if you're not doing any sort of physical activity right now, starting off on a 3 or 5 day program is not going to work. You're going to fail. You're going to get burnt out because statistically, if you look at it, people will do this for like a month to 3 months, and then they'll be like, okay, I did what I needed to, and
Yeah.
that's good. And so what I was realizing is that because it was a split and I wasn't getting up for the gym, like I told you, I wasn't showering right away because I didn't sweat. So I was like, oh, let me just hop into work and do that. I noticed that I was like eating more, like treating myself worse in terms of what I was intaking on the weekends. And all of these things started coming back to me when we had like our friends visit. And it wasn't that it was that visit that put it into perspective, but I was just sitting there like, why am I feeling this way? Like, why do I feel like I'm putting in a lot of work, but it's not the work that I want to put out, in the sense of like my effort for said objective or said goal that I was doing, I wasn't finding as passionate. I wasn't finding the energy. I wasn't, even though I was doing it, it was just going through the motions. And the root cause of it was because this action that I needed to do day in and day out to make sure that I wake up with the right mentality, I was missing. And so then it was just making me lazier and lazier and lazier. And so it starts with recognition and the courage to be like, okay, we're at this stage right now, but where do we go from here? How do we correct it? And so I was telling you, like, my
Did
different
you read
motive.
my newsletter today
No,
or yesterday?
no, not yet. I still have it unread.
Okay, just curious because it's kind of
Okay.
around this topic.
Yeah, no. And so that was like one thing that I wanted to like stress or talk about on here, because it ain't always sunshine and fucking rainbows. We have people that'll ask us, how do you guys do it every single day? How do you guys keep this positive attitude? How do you this? How do you that? And we don't. We don't fucking always have it. We don't have this or that. Like, we work for it and we are realistic and we approach things with a mindset of call yourself out if you're not doing what you need to do. Get back on track before April rolls into May, and May rolls into June, and June rolls into July, and next thing you know, it's summer, and you look back and you're like, holy shit, now another quarter of the year is gone, and I am extremely far behind, versus stopping it in its tracks when you realize it, adjusting, making those changes, and then moving forward full steam ahead.
Yeah, this newsletter that I wrote is called like "What to Do When You Don't Know What to Do," and it's essentially like when you don't feel like you're being pulled in a certain direction, or like you're kind of lacking passion, or like something like that, that you still continue to do the things that you know you need to do. Like basically, like keep the routine, keep the structure. Like even if you don't know where it's heading or like what the end goal is, doing those things you know have positively impacted you in the past is only going to help you in the future. And so I wrote this 2 weeks ago, but it just came out.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like in a different place then, obviously. I'll be pretty transparent. So we're not going to dig deep into this, guys, but I'm going to drop a few things out there that I'm going to go deep into in a few weeks. One, I'm single, not by choice. So we'll say that. Broke up with essentially. I, all in like the matter of a week and a half, this stuff happened. I got put on a performance plan at work where it's like hit this number or you're fired within 3 weeks, like super last minute. And so now like I'm also trying to figure out what is my next move in terms of living. Like I moved to Denver with Dom. I don't know if I want to stay here. Long story short, I'm moving to North Carolina as well in July. So like now it's like everything's kind of solidified and like time has passed. And this week for some reason I've had like this overarching theme of like, and not I'm saying theme because like in my writing, like how I felt like when I'm journaling and shit, I'm like at peace for like the first time. And I don't even know how long. Like I don't know if I've ever actually felt like this. And like I wrote about it like really in depth,
Mm-hmm.
but it's like I just feel like I don't know. Like I don't even really know how to like vocalize it or put it into words. Like I just feel like this like calm like assurance like this is like what you're supposed to be doing. And it's weird because like my whole life is like flipped upside down right now. But like I don't know. I just feel like I'm in the right path. And so it's weird to see that whole 180 from 2 weeks ago when I wrote this, like what to do when you don't know what to do. So I just kept in the routine, doing what I know like I'm supposed to do. And now it's like I feel like this eerily calm feeling that I don't know how to take it because I've never really felt it before.
That's wild. I'm excited to kind of see how that comes to fruition. I think a lot of answers are going to like come about on why you might have this feeling or the thought process and stuff right now. Because like you said, I mean, life changed 180 in the matter of a week or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And so with, like you said, without going too far into it, um, and kind of like packing home the punch, is that you as an individual have a lot of routine and habits set in place that you do to make sure that life before this was going steady. You were doing the things you wanted, you were healthy, you were all of these things. And little did you know that this roadblock was going to come up. And most people, when a roadblock like this comes up, they hit a wall and they just crumble because they don't have those habits set in place. You also didn't know that you were going to hit another roadblock that wasn't even going to let you get over the first one. And so
Yeah.
now you have a double barrier that you have to try and figure out how to get over, not hump. And then when that happens, most people again would crumble even further and start blaming life. Why is this happening to me? Why am I the one? Why do I have to be? I do all this stuff. I. Instead of that, you kept your head up, you stayed strong, and you're like, all right, cool. And then you got another fucking roadblock thrown at you that you didn't expect. And so now it's really like, where the fuck do I go in life? What am I doing? Why am I doing all this stuff? Why is this happening to me? That's the mentality of most people. But Dylan Thacker, because he knows it's important, has had these habits and rituals in place that gave him the power, that gave him the strength to be able to come up with a decision of like, what path do I go down? I don't know what fucking path is right for me right now, but what do I need to do right this second to make sure that if that performance plan doesn't get hit, I have an option B. If I get in my head about a relationship, where do I go from there? If I have to move out of Colorado, what does that look like? What does my life look like next in the terms of what do I want to achieve? And so everybody's going through shit right now. I'm going through shit. My family's going through shit. You're going through shit. And what's important is making sacrifices that might be uncomfortable because you don't want to make those right now, but taking those sacrifices that you're making, staying disciplined and staying diligent in whatever said habit goal that you're doing to achieve the next thing is in place. Make the sacrifices now to not go out, to not hang out with friends, to not do these things. So that way you can figure out what that road ahead looks like. It might be unpaved, but if you keep going and you keep pushing and you set parameters and boundaries, that road's going to get paved behind you and the answers are going to keep happening or coming to let you know, like, okay, this is right. Okay, this is the next step. And even if you fall during those steps, you still have a foundation that you can keep building upon because you're working at something and you're moving forward with it instead of staying stagnant and blaming it all on yourself.
I'm not superhuman by any means. There was definitely moments of why the fuck is this happening to me? Like I do this, I do that. Like you explained, like I felt that. But I think what's important is like don't sit in that. That's not going to do anybody good, any good, especially yourself. Like it's just a victim mentality, and it sucks. But the thing is, like I didn't know these roadblocks were coming. You're right, but at the same time, I did because like a roadblock's coming for all of us, all the fucking time.
Mm-hmm.
If things are going good, just know a roadblock's coming. Like something is going to happen to you. And if you just got hit with a roadblock, guess what? Just still be prepared for the next one because that's how life is. You're never going to have smooth sailing for an extended period of time. It's just not going to happen. Something's going to come up. Relationships, family, work, personal life, like whatever it is, like something is going to happen. So just stay the course and figure this shit out. Like at the end of the day, you're responsible for your own happiness. No, we don't always have the positive attitude, but like a positive attitude isn't being happy. That a positive attitude is a choice. You get to choose to look at things from a positive perspective. And if you don't do that, that's on yourself. So like, no, I'm not always happy, but I am always positive. And that's like it's definitely taken me time to get there and it's not an easy thing by any means, but it's 100% a choice.
Yep. I love that. I pulled up my Facebook because there's been like some statuses where I'm like, ooh, those hit, or ooh, these are going to resonate with people. And the one was, if you want to see change in your life, you have to make sacrifices. Most people won't make sacrifices to see that change because it is scary or unknown. The challenge is, the challenge isn't the sacrifice. The challenge is the change. Most people like to know what life is like. They don't want to veer out. That's why a lot of people don't move away from their hometown. A lot of people don't go to college. A lot of people won't go on the diet. A lot of people won't stick to the workout because they don't have a tangible thing at the end of that to know
Yeah.
what that is. So they stay back, they stay reserved. And I finished it and I said, become friends with the unknown, become friends with the uncomfortable, become friends with the doubt, become friends with the uncertainty. You will learn that you want it, or you will learn that what you want is right around the corner. Mindset, attitude, and determination will produce the results or outcome you are looking for. And I truly believe that the last thing, mindset, attitude, and determination will produce the results or outcome you are looking for. And that's just what you said, that you don't
Yep.
always have to be happy or positive, but you have to have the mindset to keep pushing during those dark times, hard times, and not just sitting there baking in it and playing the victim mentality or having the victim mentality.
Yeah. I think we could go really deep on this, and I think like we should probably cut it now. But like I said, I am gonna speak on like all of this shit like in depth. Like I wanna. It honestly is probably gonna be the first time I cry in an episode. I think like
Mm-hmm.
that's where it's gonna go. But like I feel like it's like you said, like I want to be as transparent as possible with people. Like this is a big deal,
Yeah.
and I think it needs to be talked about because it's something that everyone goes through, and it's not easy. But if you can see like the way other people go through it, I think it can help people, whether it's the exact situation or not. Like it's just another way to kind of view it and go about it.
Yep. Completely agree. You guys all know that we love fucking doing this. We love that you listen. And all we really want to do is just spread a message that is truthful and doesn't have these filters that social media puts on it about what life looks like, when we know in reality life is vastly different from that. And the Bentleys and the big houses and the bags are only temporary fixes to feel good in life. But at the end of the day, if somebody is on their deathbed, nobody's thinking about the Bentley, the big houses, the Gucci bag. They're thinking about the memories that they had with the person or the memories that they wish they would have created with them. So use this life while we're here to make an impact on the way that you want to. Go after your goals. I just had somebody reach out to me saying that they wanted to start a podcast. Go after that fucking podcast. Read the book that you want to read. Go on the vacation you want to go on. Whatever it is, create this life with meaningful things to keep you going, to keep you motivated in the direction. And remember that mindset, attitude, and determination will get you through any situation, any scenario. Have the desire to inspire, make an impact. Tell your mama we love her. We'll talk soon. It's on.
Peace.